Good morning, Denise Dryden here on Bainbridge Island. Back from Montana, back in the warm weather, standing under a tree because it's sprinkling just a little bit. So today is Easter. It is the second day of Passover. It is April Fool's, and it is also the day after the full moon. So last night I was right here, standing, looking at Seattle, which is behind me, and the moon was coming up. And I was sitting right here on the bench watching it and waiting for it. And what I noticed is it ties in to this theme we're going to talk about today, this full moon, was that if there's any chance that it's not pouring down rain, I'm going to go somewhere where I can sit and watch the beginning of the light come up over the mountains or over the horizon and see the moon. And last night she peeked up and she was beautiful. And then she went into some wispy clouds, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, some stripes across her. And then she came up and she started going into this haze where I could see her, but all of her edges were really fuzzy, and I was like, oh man, I can't really see you the same way. You're not as clear to me, which is a perfect representation of what we want to talk about today, which is how does it feel to be seen, to be really seen? So, when we see a child, and when a child sees us, there's a connection, there's an authenticity there that is magnificent. It's something that we can't replace. We can't do anything different. It's completely authentic. It's us, right? And when we have layers, when we have agendas, when we have things going on that get in the way, we can't see our child, and our child can't really see us. So it puts a layer in between, like the moon, where there's a little bit of a frustration and a little bit of like, I wish that was different. However, you know, that's completely up to us to do something about this. So Jodi Picoult, she's a phenomenal writer. She does lots and lots of novels about the human spirit, human energy, or human relationship systems. She says, love has nothing to do with what you are looking at and everything to do with who is looking. And so I wanted to put the onus of how to see and be seen on the parent today and give you some tools, give you some ideas, kind of tap you on the shoulder and see if there are some other ways that we can do this. Who are you when you are interacting with your child? Are you present? Are you all the way there? Are you happy to be there? Are you frustrated at being there? Are you hoping to be somewhere else? Is your mind in another place? Are you curious? Are you happy? Are you creative? You know, or do you have that parenting, managing, supervisor role going on in your head, and you're not really there seeing who they are, what they're doing? So in order to really see a child, we have to let go of what we want to see. Dang it! That's like the hardest thing is, wait a minute, what lens am I looking through? What am I actually trying to see? And what am I looking for? And what am I self-correcting and trying to get that child to do versus what am I able to just see them doing naturally? That's a huge difference. So what I mean is that when we put these lenses on, like I'm the manager, like this is important to me, these are the things I need to see in my child, we start consciously and unconsciously guiding and directing. So what we end up with is this funnel or this track. And the track could be really wide, or it could be really narrow, or it could be going right straight towards the destination that we value as a parent. And our values come in from our life experiences. If you struggled with getting an education, you want to give your child an education. If you struggled with siblings with drug abuse or addiction, you want to make sure your child doesn't do that. If you didn't get a choice to choose your profession, you want to try to, you know, put your child into a lot of exploration ideas so that they know what they want. Does that make sense? We funnel consciously and unconsciously. So I'll give you some examples just to drive it home. Based on your own life experiences, if education is your highest value system, you're going to track classes. You're going to look at grades. You're going to look at learning. You're going to look at colleges. Everything that kiddo does is about getting ready for high school, building a GPA, and going through the academic or the collegiate application process. Everything is about education. If outer performance and appearance really matters to you, like how you look in the community, how you present in the community, you're going to track academic successes, sports, social life, clothes, leadership, friends. You're going to be active in all of that. How is my kiddo representing me out in the world? And are they bringing value to that? I know it sounds really cold, but the bottom line is, if that's what's important to us, then that's what we encourage in our child. If faith or religion is what you seek, you are on a track of your own personal religion and faith, and you want to pass that on to your children, then church attendance, synagogue, services, participation, holidays together are going to be what really matter. And there's going to be, everything is driven towards, are you going to Mass? Are you going on Sunday? Did you do your homework? Did you talk to your pastor? Did you talk to your rabbi? These are the kinds of things that we push, whether we intend to or not. The one that I kind of find interesting is that if respect is what you seek as a parent, then you're going to really push interactions with the community, interactions with adults, with elders, with yourself, where you're looking for how does my child understand that there are people who know more than them, people who are in charge, people who are older, who have the right to tell you what to do, and that you have to respect that. So these are those kinds of lenses that when we are not aware that we have them, we're not aware of how they impact how we see our child. So based on what you know about yourself, what you need, and what your experiences are, you may not see something that your child is desperately trying to get your attention on, such as, what if they're like, they can't write, they don't like history, they don't like going to school, but they are phenomenal at music, and they have this rhythm and this ability to tie mathematics and music together, but you don't like the music they listen to, so you don't understand that. What if they're creatives and they don't like the structure of school, but they can write? They can write poetry, they can write songs, they can paint, they can dance, they can do phenomenal things. And you're like, yeah, that's nice. However, my agenda is that you're going to go to school and get a good education, right? What if you have a child that values relationships, authentic relationships, above and beyond anything that you could possibly provide? They're going to seek out authentic human beings. And sometimes those authentic human beings are not the kind of kids you want your kids to hang out with. But they're looking for a level of honesty and realness. And you don't like that, especially if it questions your authority. What if your child has unique learning skills and they need a different kind of classroom? What if they're an empath or a sensitive? What if they are introverted and they need time alone? These are things that are obvious to us as parents. However, there's also this lens like, I need to address that. I need to fix it. I need to get them back on the track that I know, because then I can see them for what I want to see them as, not as for who they are. So your child is this combination of both parents. Whether it's nature nurture, whether it's genetic predisposition, whether it's the skills we teach and whatnot. So you're going to see some diversity that's not yours. And then the other part is that if we can see our child and let our child be seen by us, really seen, they might take us in a direction that they're supposed to take us in, that we have been asking to go or needing to go, kicking, dragging, and screaming. But our child is going to get us there, right? So what we have to do is sort of line up behind them and go, oh, I understand what you want, who you are. So I guess the last piece is that if we hold tight to what we want, what we need, what we hope for our child, and we see them through those lenses only, we may force them to make some choices to follow us, regardless of where we're going. Choices to submit to our will and just get through high school and hate every second of it, the high school of your choice. to subjugate to our will, to give in, to doubt themselves, to struggle, to rebel or push away, or to self-medicate. Because there's a direct relationship between how we see our child and what we're willing to open up and allow and provide them to show us and let them sort of illuminate us as to who they are, and the track that we have for them. And when we can pry that track out of our hands and show up and be present, everything changes. It takes time to look at our child. It takes time to just drop our agendas and look right at them and say, I see you. I noticed this. That must feel really cool when you do that. When we step back and we let go and we let them show us, then there's a level of freedom to discover what wants to happen. We get to see what is it that they really want to do. What is it that they're phenomenal at? When we let go of our soccer or baseball or music lessons or grades agenda. We create some amazing kids when we do this. We create confident explorers. We create leaders, creators. We create collaborators. I'm not talking very well this morning. We create unique problem solvers. And we create human beings with the freedom to expand and take us forward. And I'm thinking that right now, that's exactly what our country needs. It's exactly what our world needs. It's exactly what we need, is creativity and the freedom to expand and become something new. So see your child, really see them, and let them know that you're here and that they're magnificent. This is Denise Dryden. This is the kind of stuff I do. And if you're interested, you can find me on DeniseDrydenCoaching.com. You can also take a ferry over here to Bainbridge and we can play around with some of these ideas. Let me know. You take care. Have a great Sunday. Have a great 1st of April. Play some jokes. Gather with your friends and family and enjoy yourselves. Take care. Bye-bye.